Hi, I'm Bill,
And I'm Sherri.
and this is a BS production. Today, we are working on tips for effectively working at home.
So I know a lot of people are working at home right now. And so my question for you is, are you working and you happen to be at home, or are you at home and you happen to be working? And the reason I ask this is because depending on which mindset you have, whether you believe that you are still working and doing your job and you've just moved locations, or whether you believe you're at home and work's kind of interrupting your day, is probably going to determine how you handle your daily actions and what you do. So we're hoping that you're working and you happen to be at home, right? You don't care, do you?
I know. So, first things first, if you're going to work from home, and some of you have to work from home right now, you need to have a routine. So, what's your routine? Have you created a schedule for yourself? Do you keep a to-do list, whether you keep it on paper or whether you put it on your calendar or use some kind of software that your work might have? Do you have a list, to-do list, so you can keep track of what you're working on and what you've gotten done?
Or maybe
Um,
a rock and a chisel.
yes, a rock and a chisel. Yeah, they have those at your house. Have you considered your physical health? Um, have you considered your mental health? Something Sherri needs to consider. What distractions will you face? And how do your expectations change? Your expectations about what you can get done and how you can get it done should be different probably now than they were when you were in the office. You don't have access to the same people. They're not as accessible. They may not have the same resources that may have been available. So a lot of things may change about what you can expect from your workday.
And some people don't work as good alone. So when we look at your routine, knowing you and your routine is going to be really important. But we recommend that you get up in the morning and you get ready to go to work. So even though you're working at home, you still want to get up and get ready. So you're going to take a shower, you're going to eat your breakfast, you're going to get dressed in whatever you want to wear to work. And that includes wearing pants and making sure that you're able to be on these Zoom meetings. And then consider the different interactions that you're going to have during your day. And so when you get up and get ready to go to work, it's going to put you in the mindset of, I'm working and I happen to be at home, but here I am, I'm getting up and I'm going to my job.
Right. And dress like you may have to answer the door, so it's not embarrassing to you or whoever might be at your door. Be conscious of also what you have on your screen. I read yesterday that some professor from the University of Miami had a porn site open on one of his tabs while he was doing a lecture to his students, and that all kind of got got back to the school, and he lost his job. And then the other dude that threw the cat in San Francisco, and he lost his job. So just kind of be careful of what's going
You
on.
really should never throw your cat anyway on
Yeah,
Zoom.
especially, well, not if it's video documented, if certainly not, or your children. Okay, so have you created a schedule for yourself? Set your work hours, a start and stop time for yourself. Make sure that you treat it like your job, right? Because you don't want to overwork yourself. You don't want to get fatigued, but you also want to, kind of have your mindset on, I'm at work today, right? Kind of back to the beginning when we were talking about mindset. Set your break times. Have times when you can step away and kind of rejuvenate. Set your lunch time, stop and eat. Communicate your schedule to your teammates that you're working with, whoever they might be, remotely, your boss, and your housemates, so they know when you're on and when you're not. And then shut down when work is over. When work is over, stop. A lot of people are having a hard time with that, and they're kind of tied to their phones or their computers. You need to walk away from it at some point. Nobody expects you to work 24/7. Nobody does.
And I'm terrible about that, but communicating it to my housemates has helped a lot because they remind me, you said you would be done by now. And I do have a to-do list, which is what makes me terrible at my schedule and having breaks and endings. So one thing about my to-do list is I really need to make sure realistically I put on there things that I can accomplish within that day or within that week, and then I can check them off. And so the great part about having a to-do list is it really allows you to celebrate what you're getting done. When we're in the office, a lot of times people are great at celebrating, you're getting feedback on the work done, you're working with other people getting it done. But when you come back into your home and you're working alone a lot of times, it's hard to remember how much you're getting done or really celebrating that you're accomplishing so much. So if you don't want to do a list, which might be boring, you could do any kind of creative accountability that you want. I've heard of people who have like jars on their desk and they move rocks from one jar to the other when they accomplish a task. And so at the end of the day, they just want the empty jar to be full of rocks. And so that would be great. You could celebrate that. You could have little horses on your wall that you move. You could have lots of different things, but whatever it is, you just want it to show your accomplishments and you want to be able to move it forward as you get things done.
Yeah, one of the things too that you miss out on working from home is being able to collaborate. And a lot of times at work, if you finish something, you can go show it to somebody else and get their feedback on it. You may have to schedule that into your day somehow.
And so you get feedback whether you want it or not, right? Someone just walks by your desk and happens to see what you're working on.
Hey, what are you doing over there? Why are you playing that game and not working? Yeah, it happens to me a lot. Have you considered your physical health? Take breaks. Eat healthy. Get up and move. This is important. A lot of people are sitting all day. Make sure if you're sitting for more than an hour, you should probably get up and stretch. Probably less than that even. Go for a walk. Go outside. Weather's nice. Go out for a nice walk. If you have a dog, go take your dog for a walk. Stretch. Get some fresh air. All that's important to make sure that you take care of your physical health. And then you got to think about the other side of the coin, which is your mental health.
And going outside and getting fresh air or taking a walk can also be really good for your mental health. And it doesn't have to be long. Like you could walk around your block. For most people, you could walk around your block in 5 to 10 minutes and then come right back. Or you could just walk outside to check your mailbox, or you could just walk outside and take a couple deep breaths, really ground yourself, and then come back inside. And so that's going to be really helpful for you just to make sure that you're feeling like you're ready for work and that you're not overstressed or have a lot on your mind. Also, you're going to want to maybe have background music or soft sounds that you can do, and make sure you connect with people. And the connecting to people is going to be the most important, because a lot of us had great social gatherings. We had lunch with people. We got together during the day when we were at work. And so now that we're at home, we still want to make sure we fulfill that need and talk to different people. So if you can't connect with your coworkers, which hopefully you can through some technology, make sure that you're connecting with a friend or a family member or somebody to really keep you with that social engagement and having that.
So what distractions will you face while you're working remotely? You want to minimize electronic distractions. Turn off your phone, turn down your volume or your vibration or whatever it is. Don't let text and email and social media take you off your task. If you're going to do those things, schedule time in your day for that, right? Use it on your break time or your lunch time. So minimize those. Have a plan.
Bill, for their actual day, like if you have a task that you're working on that really requires concentration, maybe you need to close your email for 30 minutes and just work on that instead.
Yeah, I never was a person to kind of sit and look at my email all day. I would set times a day that I would look at it. And I would let people know, because then people wouldn't expect, like if I sent an email to Bill, if he didn't respond in the, 10 or 15 seconds, he must not be paying attention. No, I'm doing something else. It's not that you're not important. You're just not important right now. So I have to schedule that in the day. So if you're going to do that, just let people know, hey, I'm out of pocket. You can even put on your signature line that I'm currently in meetings, or I'm currently unavailable to take your hand any message, but I'll handle it when I come back, and then just take it off when you get available again. Have a plan for your pets and your children, so they don't distract your day. Schedule up front with them what you might want to get them to do. Your children, especially your dogs, probably don't understand. But your children, you schedule up front with them. Let them know when you're going to be available, and also have a plan if they need you. right? If they need to get in touch with you while you're working, how would they do that, right? What's the appropriate way for them to do that? And what happens if you're on a call or on a video conference like this? Avoid activities and stimulus that create anxiety. So if watching the news freaks you out, don't do that. If calling your mother freaks you out, don't do that. If
During the day while you're at work, you can do it when you get off work.
well, no, I would suggest you don't do it at all if it freaks you out, right? But
Call your mother.
yeah, well, you do that. But yes, avoid those distractions while you're trying to work. It's even at work, you probably don't take personal calls and those kind of things when you're in the midst of things. Why would you do that at home?
Or you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. So manage those distractions.
So how do your expectations change? So Bill talked a little bit about this in the beginning, but really the reason people get unhappy or they're not satisfied is because the blueprint they created for what they expect or what they want to happen doesn't match their reality. And so how do you need to change that right now? Maybe things aren't the same as they used to be, or maybe it's not going to be this perfect, layout of how you're working at home. But if you just look at, okay, if I'm patient, if I consider my distractions, if I think about what I need to get done and how I need to do it, and if I assume everybody else has a positive intent and anything that they say to me, they're just trying to help me out and do the best they can do, then I could probably lay out a blueprint that would match my reality and be very content with how things are. And so you might have some technology challenges sometimes, or you might have things that are a little bit different. You have to deal with your pet or your child or different things during the day, but it could still be a great day. And so you want to look at what's your expectation and how can you level set it so that you're able to meet it and then really enjoy the time.
And we live in a kind of an immediate feedback culture. So that assuming the positive intent is important because a lot of times people may respond and it's hard to read what they're trying to say, especially if it's in a text or an email. So rather than assume that whatever they're saying to you is a negative or combative, assume a positive intent, as we said before. And a lot of times that's probably really where people were coming from. It just didn't come across that way. If you're a manager, take time to check in with your staff and find out how they're doing, and not just how they're feeling, but how their day is going, what kind of obstacles they're facing or frustrations they're facing that you may be able to help them overcome. Do they have all the resources that they need? If they're really being productive and getting things done, ask about how they did that, right? Ask about that behavior. What have they done? So you can take those ideas and encourage them to promote those ideas among the team members. And as a manager, you need to be patient, so if you're on a call and somebody's dog interrupts or the kids interrupt or whatever, that's going to happen, right? So you have to have an extra level of patience and flexibility because everybody's trying to adjust to this new environment that we're in.
Well, also, I think though, you want to make sure as a manager, like I hear from some people that their managers call and they're really not calling with positive intent, right? They're calling to make sure that they're working. And so they're really calling with this, I'm double checking and making sure you're doing what you're doing. And that does not say that you care about your employees and want to know how they're doing. That says that you don't trust them. So
well, I will say this about that as well. If your manager has to call you to ask to know whether you're working or not, they do not have good metrics or measurements in place to assess your performance. Because if the only way I could tell whether you were working is if I could actually see you, then probably not set up to manage you very well.
that could be. Right, so this is our location, our physical workspace. So when we get up and get ready to go to work, we want to make sure that we have a space where we're working. And you don't want it to be your bed because your bed is where you sleep. So you definitely want to make sure you're not working in your bed. You can work at a desk if you have one. You could work at a kitchen counter or the kitchen table if you need to. We don't recommend that you work sitting on your couch only because it will impact your posture. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a good chair to sit in and that you have all of the tools that you need around you. So if you're going to need a pencil or a calculator or a notebook or different tools to do your job, you want to make sure that they're all right there in your workspace. And if you go to that same location every day, then what you'll be teaching your brain is when I sit down here, I work. And so you want to make sure that that workspace is a space where you do your work. And then when you get off work, you can leave that space, kind of close it up and fold it behind you.
So design it for optimum, for your optimum performance, as Sherri was
I
saying.
mean, everything has to be put in little nooks and crannies and organized the way Bill would want it.
Yes, but and also have a spot so people know in the house if you're in that spot that you're probably working, right? The quiet zone is just let people know that, you know, it's work time, so have to be quiet. Have a comfortable chair. And as Sherri said, don't work from your bed, and declutter, declutter, declutter. I don't like clutter.
As long as you know where everything is, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I also think it's important, the quiet zone, that you're patient with that, because I know in my family, people sometimes forget about the quiet zone and then kind of move on without it. So I'm going to let Bill talk about this because he thinks it's very, very important that you check your internet speed.
Well, I don't think it's like very important, but it is important, especially if you're relying on the internet to do your job, Sherri. So, and Sherri got a wake up call when she tested hers because hers is slow. So when you go to your browser and you put internet speed test in, it will run a test and tell you how fast your internet speed is, upload, download. And then what you should do is compare that to what you're paying for, right? And are you getting what you're paying for? And if you're wireless, there may be a way to improve that by kicking up your, they sell little boosters that go on your wireless router, or you may want to plug directly into your router with an Ethernet cable, because you'll get faster speeds if you do that. So you got to make sure you have a good computer and a screen. You got to make sure you have a decent headset if you want to use a headset. I personally don't like headsets. Sherri loves headsets. She doesn't have it on today. I don't know why. And then camera, it's got to be decent. A mouse, speakers, those kind of things. And then checking your internet speed. And if your internet speed isn't what you paid for, call your internet provider and see what they can do to help you. You may be able to get some tips from your own IT department.
I didn't wear my headset because you were making fun of me, but I do like to wear my headset.
Yes, with your helmet. Be an alert for viruses. Be careful what you open and close. Secure your network. Make sure you have a password and it's protected. Especially if you're accessing a third-party network, you don't want people hacking you to hack it. Be conscious of what you download to your computer because you don't want to knock yourself out of the game. And if you have an IT team, you can ask them for what helps or tips that they can offer to you to help you with making you more productive at home.
And if you don't have an IT team, you're probably going to make sure that you do a little research on that, because that you don't want to get any viruses. So you might get some benefits that you didn't really expect from working at home. So there might be some positives. You can improve your communication skills. If you start telling people when you're working and how you're working and what your needs are, you could find that you get a lot better results. You can lessen your environmental footprint because you're not driving your car to work every day. And I don't know if you've read about it, but I've heard that there's all kinds of great things that have happened in the environment since we've all been at home. So you can
Animals are taking the planet over again.
I don't know if that's a good thing, but I was thinking about like the hole in the ozone layer is actually repairing.
Oh, how do you know?
Because
Anyway.
I read it. It's science. You can become a better time manager and take better control over your time. And so that happens with scheduling and making sure you're getting everything done. You can enhance your emotional intelligence. And that happens because you're having better communications with people. You're more empathetic and you're really checking on people and seeing how they're doing. And so that's
And more analytical of the communication that you get, because a lot of it you can't see. You know, a lot of it will be electronic, written, that kind of thing.
and you're assuming
Save money.
some people are saving money because they're not commuting, they're not going out to eat, they're not buying gas, so they're able to save more money staying at home. Those that have a toxic relationship with Amazon, maybe not as much, but
Yeah, nobody I know. Recap of what we covered today. Have a routine, create a schedule, celebrate your accomplishments, however, whatever freaky way you want to do that.
yeah, emergency dance party.
Yeah, whatever. Physical health is important. Take care of yourself. Mental health is almost as important, if not as important. Take care of that too.
There's those interruptions and distractions we talked about.
Manage that distraction, like that dog that I hear in the background who's saying it's time to end. Positive results that can come out of working from home. We talked about those. And think about those, how you can improve on those and make you a better, more well-rounded performer. So we thank you for your time today. If you like this, you can visit us at positiveimpactforce.com. I'm Bill Casal.
And I'm Sherri Sutton.
And we thank you for your time and look forward to seeing you again on the next BXS production.
Thank you. Bye.